Okay, we're going to talk about sampling today. What does it mean to sample? Well, in general terms, sample is to grab something. So maybe a simple sampler would be like a switch and a capacitor, okay, and then a buffer, okay. And so you might have some signal over here, and you close the switch, and whatever the voltage is over here gets transferred to this capacitor. And then when you open up the switch, it stays sampled. So this is a sample and hold, okay? We're holding the voltage, so sample and hold. But we sample it, and then we can do something with it, all right? Now, we could also sample things by using an A to D, okay? You could just have an A to D, right? And then whatever your signal's doing over here, you take a picture, right? The sample and hold of the A to D just takes a picture. It measures the voltage instantaneous, right? So there's some pulse period here. There's some conversion rate of your A to D. It takes some time, okay? It's not instantaneous, but it takes some time. You capture that amount, okay? And then if you want to repeat this, there's some repetitiveness. Maybe you can only do this, once every millisecond, or you can go faster and faster and faster. So you might use this like to build an oscilloscope, right? You have some waveform over here, and you're going to sample it here, and then sample it here, sample it here, sample it here. So you're going to take these samples, okay, and then you're going to put them into a computer, and then you're going to draw lines between them. Once you get all those numbers, you're going to draw lines between them, and then you're going to display them on your screen, okay? So there's some sampling right here, right? So you might have a 350 megahertz oscilloscope that can sample at a particular rate. You might have a really fast one, like this Rodenschwarz over here. It's got about a 3 gigasamples per second. So 3,000 gigahertz it can sample at. So you can measure up to 1 gigahertz. So even though you're sampling much faster, if this is one wavelength or one period of a sine wave, you need to sample it multiple times, right? So if you had a 1 gigahertz, you might want to have a 10 gigahertz sample rate, right? You might get 10 points in here. And there's something called Nyquist theory and things like that. And if you have I think the Keysight scope that I have does 5 gigasamples per second to get 1 gigahertz. So, the more samples, the better. And then you can interpolate between them and do different things. So anyway, that's the way sampling works, right? All right. I also own a 50 gigahertz oscilloscope, 50 gigahertz. And it needs to use sampling theory as well. And you say, okay, well, now you need to sample at least 100 gigahertz or maybe 200 gigahertz in order to do this. Well, you can't do that. So the way that this oscilloscope works is it's called a sampling oscilloscope. Okay, so let's think about that. Here's the waveform that we're trying to digitize, right? And we come along and we can sample. So we grab one little sample here, okay? And then by the time the machine is ready to sample again, it's already gone past because this is going so fast, okay? And so, it might not be ready to sample until over here someplace, right? But what you do is you sample it here, okay? And then the next time you get around to sampling again, you delay it a little bit, and now you sample here. And then the next time you kind of get around to it, you can sample here. And you can basically get all those sample points again, but it might take you many cycles for you to build this up. And that's called a sampling oscilloscope. So my 50 gigahertz oscilloscope may only operate at 100 megahertz, okay? And it has to build this all up to get the 50 gigahertz resolution. And you do that by sampling, and then when you come around the next time, you trigger, but you delay a little bit, and then you sample. And then you trigger and you delay a little bit longer, and you sample. You trigger and you delay a little bit longer, and you sample. And you finally build this thing up, and that's a sampling oscilloscope, okay? All right, so we're talking about samplers in this Agilent generator, and it's operating at 4 to 8 gigahertz, and we don't have anything that can run that fast. So we need to do the sampling theory, okay? And so there's a couple ways you can attack this. You'll see this in the Tiny SA and the Nano VNA. You'll see these really, really high frequency devices operating on tiny little microprocessors that aren't very fast at all. How do they do that? Well, they use harmonics, okay? So instead of actually measuring 8 gigahertz, they're going to measure a lower frequency, but use a harmonic that is at 8 gigahertz, right? So that's the way they get away with making these tiny little devices work at those high frequencies, is they use harmonics. So if you're interested in generating harmonics, you create a fast edge, okay? If you create a fast edge, okay, let's say our fast edge is just 100 megahertz. But every single time I create one of these edges, I'm creating all of the harmonics. So my 100 megahertz is creating 200 megahertz, 400 megahertz, 800 megahertz, it's making all of these things, right? So if I have something that can generate, let's say, just for sake of argument, let's say we can have a fast enough edge that I can generate a harmonic, okay, because of this edge at 5 gigahertz, okay? Now I've got a 5 gigahertz edge and I've got a harmonic there. Then there's at least one place in this phase lock loop that I have a signal that I can compare these two at, okay? And so this thing could be operating at 5 gigahertz, and my 100 megahertz, maybe let's say it's 500 megahertz, okay? That's 500 megahertz, and the 10th harmonic gives me 5 gigahertz, right? And or I'm not doing that right. It's multiple, so yeah, I'm getting ones, but you get the idea, right? There's some frequency down here whose harmonic is 5, right? 1/5 of that, say, and it's locking up here. So because I have this edge and I have this edge, and I also have this edge, the slower frequency edge is still in lock with the harmonic. They'll move together. The harmonic and the primary are locked together. So if I'm looking at phase locking stuff, as long as I can have these two edges be kind of the same, and then I can adjust this one, and it acts kind of like a divider. Okay. All right. So how do you do something like this? Well, you go buy one, and so MACOM makes some things called sampling phase detector modules. That's what we want to look at phases, right? And so this is the whole device. It has a fancy step diode, a step recovery diode here. Okay, a step recovery diode generates a really fast edge. Okay, so if you bias this thing and you turn that thing off, wham, you've generated a really, really fast edge and lots of harmonics, okay? Okay, remember I said that we wanted to sample the signal. We wanted to take a little snapshot. So we need these really fast little switches to do our sample and hold. We need to grab a section, grab a section, grab a section, okay? And so we want to grab them at a particular time. Okay, well, the way that this works is here's our signal coming in, okay? This is our 4 to 8 gigahertz, okay? And we have a diode here and we have a diode here. Now, if the diode is off, then nothing happens. But if somehow we can bias these diodes on, we have diode switching. So they act like little switches, okay? So we're going to turn it on for the positive, or we're going to turn it on for the negative, okay? But we're going to sample. And the the way that we turn these little diodes on is with this step recovery diode. So basically, the step recovery diode is creating a fast edge, creating a narrow window, turning on this switch, the diode, for a very, very narrow piece of time and capturing a bit of the waveform that we have here on the 4 to 8 gigahertz. So it's a very, very sample, very, very fast switch. That's what this thing does, it switches. And why do you need two? Why do you need plus and minus as well? In the act of switching, you also get a diode drop in there, and you add other things. So if you can grab it in the plus direction and grab it in the minus direction, they kind of balance each other out. If you can put it in kind of a bridge situation, then the act of closing the switch in the positive direction and closing the switch in the negative direction cancel each other out, and you get a clean representation of what you're taking a picture of, right? You're sampling. So that's what this is. So this is part of the bridge. Part of the bridge is down here. We're sampling it, really, really small little window, but we're trying to grab basically a DC voltage. So we're going to have some ferrite beads here. We're going to go into some capacitors. We're going to try to grab that. We're going to try to, that's a very, very small signal. We're going to amplify it. Once we get it amplified, we're going to run it into a low pass filter, okay, which is kind of an averaging filter as well, right? We're going to get rid of all of the junk, all of the spikies and everything. We're just going to keep the DC voltage that comes through, or at least a low frequency, okay? So our sampling rate, okay, might be, in fact is, in the range of 20 to 50 megahertz. So the output of this thing is about 20 to 50 megahertz. But we're sampling it with tiny, tiny little fractions. And instead of having to capture and delay and capture and delay and capture and delay, we're capturing every once in a while, but we're always capturing at exactly the right place because we are phase lock looped. Whatever this frequency is, comb generated. Let's say we're looking at 5 gigahertz. We have a 5 gigahertz sampling. So we're sampling at exactly the right frequency. We don't know at which cycle, but we always know we're exactly on the cycle because we're phase lock looped if the whole thing settles down. So it's a way to sample using these really, really fast little switches. And then we're going to create a lower frequency from the whole thing. But that frequency that's really, really low is still phase related to the fast signal. Hopefully that made sense. I know it's complicated. All right, so on our device, we have a gig oscillator that can go between 4 and 8 gigahertz. The output of that comes down over here and goes into a sampler, this S with the circle. So that's this thing that we just looked at. This is our sampler. That sampler mixes it down. So we generate really, really fast edges, okay? And then we downsample that to 30 to 70 megahertz. We can compare that to this signal, which is 20 to 50 megahertz, and they also overlap in some range, so the two can play together, okay? Somewhere around 30 to 50 megahertz, they're both in common, and that's where we can do the phase detector, okay? So anyway, that's what the sampler does. It is a very, very fast switch who's operating at a known phase because we're using this comb generator.